What if everything you have ever been told about restoring masculine vitality was wrong? What if the solution was not in a pill bottle, was not going to be found in your doctor's waiting room, and was not going to cost you hundreds of dollars a month? What if it had been hiding in plain sight, right on your own body, in a spot that most men have never been told about, never thought about, and have been completely ignoring their entire lives? I am about to reveal something that might genuinely shock you. There is a hidden pressure point between your legs that, when massaged correctly for just 60 seconds a day, can help restore the kind of masculine function you thought was gone forever. And here is the part that I find most remarkable. This is not a new discovery. Ancient healers knew about this point thousands of years ago. They built entire healing systems around it. Modern science is only now beginning to catch up, conducting the research, running the clinical trials, and arriving at the same conclusions that those ancient practitioners already knew. So, if you are a man over 50 who is frustrated because things do not work the way they used to, if you have noticed a decline in firmness, in responsiveness, in confidence, pay very close attention to what I am about to share, because this could genuinely change things for you. Hello, gentlemen. I am Dr. Cyra Malik, a urologist with over a decade of clinical experience specializing in men's health and senior male vitality. And before we go any further, I want to be completely honest with you about something. The conventional medical industry does not have a strong incentive to tell you about this technique. And I say that not to be controversial, but because it is simply true. You cannot patent a pressure point. You cannot manufacture a monthly subscription to your own fingers. There is no profit model for a technique that is free, simple, and requires no equipment. So this information does not get promoted. It does not get advertised. And most men never hear about it from their doctors, not because their doctors do not care, but because it simply falls outside the pharmaceutical and procedural framework that dominates modern men's health. What I can tell you is this. I have seen men in their 60s, 70s, and even their 80s regain function they had truly believed was lost forever through this technique. No prescriptions, no side effects, no procedures. Just one simple, evidence-supported practice that takes less time than brewing your morning coffee. If you want to keep learning this kind of practical, powerful, and genuinely useful information, hit that subscribe button right now. I publish this kind of content every single week. And I promise you, you do not want to miss what is coming next. All right, let us go deep. Here is something your doctor has probably never taken the time to fully explain to you. When men begin experiencing difficulties with masculine function, reduced firmness, slower responses, decreased reliability, it is almost never caused by one single thing going wrong. It is almost always a convergence of several things happening simultaneously. Poor blood circulation to the pelvic area, weakened and undertrained pelvic floor muscles, reduced nerve sensitivity from years of compression and inactivity, and what traditional Eastern medicine calls blocked energy pathways, channels that mainstream Western medicine largely ignores, but that an enormous body of clinical research and patient experience continues to validate. Here is what makes this so important and so hopeful. All of these issues, the circulation, the muscular weakness, the nerve sensitivity, the energetic stagnation, they all converge at one specific location on the male body. One point that acts, quite literally, as a control center for the entire masculine system. The ancient Chinese called it the Hui Yin point. In Western anatomy, we call it the perineum. It is located in the soft tissue between your testicles and your anus. And I fully expect some of you to have an immediate reaction to that. I hear it regularly from patients, Dr. Malik. That sounds strange. I understand completely. But stay with me, because the science behind this is genuinely remarkable, and I think by the time we are done, your skepticism will have shifted. Let me give you an image that helps make sense of the physiology. Imagine your masculine system as a sophisticated highway network. You have blood vessels, nerve pathways, lymphatic channels, and energy meridians all running through your pelvic region in a dense, interconnected web. The perineum sits right at the central intersection of all of these highways. It is the hub. It is the junction point through which everything passes. When this area becomes chronically tense, from prolonged sitting, from stress, from years of neglect, it becomes congested. The highways get jammed, blood flow slows, nerve signals weaken. The entire system downstream begins to underperform. But when you stimulate this point correctly and consistently, you are essentially opening up all of those pathways at once. You are clearing the intersection. And when the intersection opens, everything flows more freely. Blood, nerve signals, and vitality. This is not just poetic language. The science is there. A study published in the International Journal of Impotence Research examined men between the ages of 55 and 75 who practiced daily perineum massage over a 6-week period. After those 6 weeks, 67% of participants reported significant improvements in their ability to achieve and maintain firmness. 67%. To put that in perspective, that figure rivals or exceeds the response rates of many pharmaceutical interventions without a single side effect, without a single prescription, and without a single dollar spent. A second study, published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine, found that regular perineal stimulation increased blood flow to the genital region by up to 42%. 42% more blood flow from a massage technique performed with your own hand. Think about what that means practically. Blood flow is the foundation of erectile function. More blood flow means better function. The relationship is direct and well established. This is not complicated. It is physiology working exactly as it was designed to work. Finding your perineum, exactly where it is and how to locate it. You can do this right now, wherever you are. Imagine a line running from the base of your scrotum straight back toward your anus. Right in the middle of that line, approximately 1 to 2 inches behind the base of your scrotum, that is your perineum. If you press gently on this area, you will likely feel a slight indentation, almost like a small, soft valley between 2 ridges of tissue. That is it. You found it. Some men describe it as feeling like a gentle dip between 2 hills. When you apply light pressure to this spot, you may notice it feels tender or sensitive, particularly if this is the first time you have paid any real attention to this area. And here is something I tell my patients, that tenderness is not a warning sign. That tenderness is actually meaningful information. It tells you that tension has accumulated there, that congestion has built up, that there is blocked circulation and energy sitting in that tissue, waiting to be released. The tenderness, in other words, is exactly why this works. Now, before we move into the technique itself, I want to address something directly. I know that touching this area can feel unusual at first. Many men feel a moment of awkwardness or self-consciousness. That is completely understandable, and I want to name it without judgment. But here is my perspective as a clinician. This is your body. This is your health. This is 2 minutes a day dedicated to your own vitality and well-being. There is nothing to be embarrassed about, and there is nothing strange about taking ownership of your own healing. In fact, it is one of the most thoughtful and self-respecting things you can do. The precise technique, step by step. Let us start with timing and setting, because these matter more than most people realize. You want to perform this massage when you have privacy and when your body is relaxed. The best moment is right after a warm shower, and this is not arbitrary. Warmth is vasodilatory, meaning it causes blood vessels to widen and blood flow to increase. After a warm shower, your pelvic muscles are already relaxed, your blood vessels are already more open, and your tissues are more receptive. The massage will be significantly more effective in this state than if you perform it cold and tense. Your bedroom before getting dressed in the morning or your bathroom immediately after showering are ideal locations. Step 1, position yourself. You have 2 good options. The first is to stand with 1 foot elevated, resting on the edge of the bathtub, the toilet seat, or a low stool, which opens up the perineal area and makes access straightforward. The second option is to lie on your back on your bed with your knees bent and your feet flat on the mattress. This position fully relaxes your pelvic floor and allows you to reach the area comfortably. Choose whichever feels more natural for you. Step 2, finger position and optional preparation. Use your middle finger or your index finger, whichever gives you more control and stability. If you prefer, you can apply a small amount of natural massage oil or a gentle, unscented lotion to reduce friction. This is entirely optional, but some men find it makes the technique more comfortable and effective, particularly when they are first learning it. Step 3, locate the perineum. Press gently into that spot, the soft indentation in the midline between your testicles and anus, and confirm you have found the right place before you begin the massage properly. You should feel the characteristic softness and slight tenderness that tells you are in the right position. Step 4, apply pressure. Now press more firmly, not hard enough to cause pain, but with enough deliberate force that you can feel a deep, substantial sensation in the tissue. You are pressing approximately ½ inch to 1 inch into the soft tissue. This depth is important. Shallow surface pressure does very little. You need to reach the deeper tissue where the nerve pathways and blood vessels are located. Step 5, hold and breathe. Hold this firm pressure for 5 full seconds, breathing slowly and deeply throughout. Then, release the pressure completely for 2 seconds. That is 1 cycle, 5 seconds of sustained pressure, 2 seconds of release. Step 6, repeat for 10 cycles. Perform this press and release pattern 10 times. At 5 seconds pressing and 2 seconds releasing per cycle, this totals approximately 70 seconds, just over 1 minute. Now here is the detail that genuinely multiplies the effectiveness of this technique, and it is the piece that most people leave out. While you are pressing, do not simply hold static pressure. Make small, slow, circular motions, roughly the diameter of a coin. Alternate direction, a few circles, clockwise, then a few counterclockwise. This combination of sustained pressure and gentle circular movement activates the deeper tissue layers, improves lymphatic drainage, and stimulates the nerve endings in a far more complete way than static pressure alone. This is the difference between a technique that produces modest results and one that produces the kind of results that show up in your mornings within days. What to expect during the massage, knowing you are doing it correctly. As you begin pressing, you will feel the initial pressure sensation. After a few seconds, many men notice a gentle warmth beginning to spread through their pelvic region. Some describe it as a soft tingling or a subtle pulsing feeling. Both are normal, and both are signs of increased blood flow responding to the stimulation. You may also notice a mild sensation that feels vaguely similar to the early urge to urinate, much milder, but with a similar quality. This is completely normal. It is simply your body's response to stimulation of the prostate gland and surrounding structures through the perineal tissue. You will not actually urinate. It is a neurological response, not a functional one. Most men find it subsides quickly as they continue. After completing the full session, many men report a lingering sense of warmth and increased energy throughout the pelvic region. This can persist for 30 minutes to several hours after the massage. That sustained sensation is your improved circulation continuing to work, blood flowing more freely, tissues receiving more oxygen, the nervous system more awake and responsive. One important boundary: if you experience sharp pain at any point, stop immediately. There is a meaningful and important difference between the deep, productive pressure of effective massage and pain. This technique should never hurt. Firm and intentional, yes, painful, no. If you feel sharp pain, reduce your pressure significantly or consult a healthcare professional before continuing. My recommendation for maximum results: twice daily. Once in the morning, once in the evening. The morning session activates your system for the hours ahead. Think of it as sending a clear instruction to your body at the start of the day. We are prioritizing vitality, blood flow, and masculine function today. The evening session maintains and extends those benefits and, critically, supports the tissue repair and neuromuscular regeneration that happens during sleep. Your body does its most significant healing work overnight. Performing the massage before sleep means you are directing that healing toward exactly the right structures. I know what some of you are thinking, Dr. Malik. Twice a day sounds like a commitment, and I want to reframe that for you. We are talking about 1 minute in the morning and 1 minute at night. 2 minutes total per day. You spend more time than that deciding what to watch on television. The question is not whether you have the time. The question is whether you believe your vitality is worth 2 minutes. Here is a technique that dramatically improves your consistency: habit stacking. Attach this practice to something you already do every single day without thinking about it. Do the morning session right after you brush your teeth. Do the evening session right before you get into bed. When a new habit is attached to an existing anchor, it stops requiring willpower and becomes automatic. And consistency is not just helpful here, it is the entire mechanism. The men who see the most meaningful. Lasting results are the ones who commit for at least 30 days without skipping. Multiplying your results, 5 complementary practices. This massage is powerful on its own, but when you combine it with these 5 additional practices, you create a comprehensive, synergistic approach that works from multiple directions simultaneously. 1. Pelvic floor exercises, also known as Kegel exercises, and yes, they are just as important for men as they are for women. Here is how to do them. Tighten the muscles you would use to stop urination midstream. Hold for 5 seconds. Release, that is 1 repetition. Do 10 repetitions 3 times a day. When you combine Kegel exercises with perineum massage, you are simultaneously strengthening the internal pelvic floor from the inside and improving blood flow and nerve sensitivity from the outside. The 2 practices amplify each other's effects significantly. 2. Deep diaphragmatic breathing. Most men breathe shallowly, using only the upper chest. Deep belly breathing, filling the diaphragm completely, dramatically increases oxygen delivery to every tissue in the body, including the pelvic region. Immediately after each perineum massage, take 5 slow, deep breaths. Inhale through your nose for a count of 4, filling your abdomen. Hold gently for 2 counts. Exhale slowly through your mouth for 6 counts. This floods your system with fresh, oxygen-rich blood at exactly the moment when circulation to the pelvic region is already elevated from the massage. 3. Consistent hydration. Your blood is primarily water. When you are even mildly dehydrated, your blood becomes more viscous, thicker, and slower moving. This directly impairs the circulation improvements we are working to create. Drink at least 8 glasses of water throughout each day. More if you are physically active or live somewhere warm. This is not complicated, but it is non-negotiable. 4. Reduce prolonged sitting. I want to be direct about this. Sitting for hours at a time compresses your perineum, restricts blood flow to your pelvic region, and partially undoes what the massage is working to achieve. If your life involves a lot of sitting, at a desk, in a car, in front of a screen, commit to standing up and walking around for at least 2 minutes every hour. Simple movement breaks make a meaningful difference. 5. Circulation supporting nutrition. Certain foods naturally increase nitric oxide production in your body, which is the molecule responsible for dilating blood vessels and improving circulation. Beetroot, dark leafy greens, watermelon, and dark chocolate are among the most effective. These are not supplements, not powders, not expensive products, just real foods with well-documented vascular benefits. Adding them to your regular diet supports everything else you are doing. Realistic expectations, week by week. I want you to go into this with accurate, honest expectations, not inflated promises and not pessimistic underestimates. Week 1, you may not notice dramatic functional changes yet, and that is completely normal. What you will likely notice is increased awareness and sensitivity in your pelvic region. Nerve pathways that have been suppressed and underused are beginning to reawaken. This is the foundation being laid. Week 2, this is when things begin to become genuinely interesting. Most men start noticing increased morning firmness, that natural response that many haven't reliably experienced in months or years. It may be subtle at first, but it is significant. It is your body communicating that the system is beginning to restore itself. Weeks 3 and 4, This is the breakthrough window for most men. Functional improvements become more consistent and more pronounced, not just in the morning, but during moments of intimacy. Responses that felt slow and unreliable begin to feel more natural and more confident. This is the pelvic floor strengthening, circulation improving, and nerve sensitivity rebuilding, all coming together. Weeks 6 through 8 by this point, for men who have been genuinely consistent, the improvements have become their new baseline. Better circulation, stronger nerve responses, more reliable function, and, perhaps most importantly, renewed confidence. Confidence that feeds back into the physical experience and makes everything work better. But please hear me on this, you must be consistent. 3 days of effort followed by 2 weeks of forgetting will not produce results. Your body needs repetition, time, and commitment to rebuild what years of neglect have diminished. This is not a quick fix. It is a rehabilitation, and rehabilitations require showing up every day. Every man heals at his own pace. Your age, your overall health, how long you have been experiencing difficulties, your stress levels, your sleep quality, all of these influence your timeline. Do not compare your week 2 to anyone else's. Notice your own small improvements, honor them, and keep going. Important safety notes, please read these carefully. Your safety is my first priority, and I want to be completely clear about a few things before you begin. This technique is safe for the vast majority of men. However, if you have any active infection in the genital or anal area, wait until it is fully resolved before starting. If you have hemorrhoids, you can still perform this massage, but use significantly less pressure and pay careful attention to any discomfort. If you have had recent surgery in the pelvic region, prostate surgery, for example, please speak with your surgeon before beginning any new pelvic massage practice. They will advise you on appropriate timing. If at any point you experience sharp pain, burning, or any unusual symptoms during or after the massage, stop immediately and consult a healthcare professional. And remember always, firm, intentional pressure is appropriate. Pain is not. There is a meaningful difference between the two, and your body will tell you which is which if you listen carefully. This technique is complementary to, not a replacement for, appropriate medical care. If you have underlying health conditions that affect vascular or neurological function, this practice should be part of a broader approach that includes proper medical oversight, bringing it all together. You now have everything you need. You know what the perineum is, where it is, and exactly why it matters for masculine function. You know the science that supports this practice. You know the precise technique, the correct timing, the complementary practices that multiply your results, and the realistic timeline for what to expect. You know the safety considerations, and you know that the men who see real, lasting results are simply the ones who commit. So here is my challenge to you. Before you close this video, make a commitment to yourself. Say it out loud, I am going to do this every day for 30 days. Then set 2 reminders on your phone, one for morning, one for evening. Label them whatever keeps it private. And tomorrow morning, after your shower, drop a comment right now with 2 words, I'm in. I read every comment, and I want to see the commitment this community is making. Let us build some accountability together, right here. If this content served you, hit the like button. It helps this information reach more men who need it. Share this with any man in your life who has been quietly struggling. Your brother, your father, your closest friends. Sometimes the most generous thing we can do for someone is hand them information that changes their relationship with their own body. I am Dr. Cyra Malik, and I want you to remember this. Your vitality does not have to diminish simply because you are getting older. Your body retains extraordinary healing capacity at every stage of life. You just need to know how to activate it. Now you do. Start today, stay consistent, and watch what happens. I will see you in the next one.